years, Harry Sweet captured on film the movers, shakers, and headline grabbers of the Northern California area. But unlike many photographers, he saved his film all the events and happenings he and others recorded.
26.
When he retired 2 years ago from KCRA-TV in Sacramento, Harry had accumulated 18 million feet of film, 9,000 hours of footage, documenting on a day-by-day basis the news of California. It is now considered one of the largest news film archives in the nation.
You can't duplicate this footage anymore. Once it's recorded, it's here, and then if you throw it away, you have lost history.
Harry filmed politicians, future presidents, stars, and saviors.
November of 1953 was of Dr. Jonas Salk. When he came to Sacramento here, he gave the children there the first polio shots.
He was there when soldiers left for the Vietnam War.
Well, somebody has to go. Just so I come back, that's all that matters.
And there when they returned. The Berkeley riots and the Beatles' visit to San Francisco are all part of Harry's collection. So are some priceless sights and sounds of California history. December 23rd, 1964, a dreary day dawned on the Georgetown Bridge where Placer County officials and the news media had gathered to witness a disaster.
You would advise your husband not to stay in politics, then?
I would hope that he would not.
Bullet took gold medals in 3 events.
Harry pulled this old film of Jesse Owens in the '36 Olympics out of the station dumpster. Not an unusual place for TV stations to put their film libraries when they converted to videotape. It is a move all now regret, except Harry Sweet. His treasure is safe and sound with the Sacramento History Center, where as film archivist, he helps preserve the past for the enjoyment of others.
I have something here very, very valuable so that people in the next generation following up behind us can actually sit back and see how we as individuals lived in our period of time.
In Sacramento, Sidney Kohara for Channel 3 reports. September 25th, 1972, a Saturday afternoon at the Sacramento Air Show, and disaster strikes. The plane crashed into Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor. The pilot lived. More than 20 people lost their lives.
I couldn't find my father. I was with my other sisters and my brothers, and so then we told them our father and mother's name, and they found our father. They didn't find our mother yet.
But luck was with the residents of Roseville on April 28, 1973, when a train carrying almost 2 million pounds of Defense Department bombs blew up. 53 injuries, but no deaths. But there were triumphs as well as tragedies. The 50s, 60s, and 70s were a time of growth and redevelopment in Northern California. September 8, 1960, a crowd had gathered here at Sacramento's Southern Pacific Station to greet a special train and a future president.
A man we can trust, the next president of the United States, Senator John F. Kennedy.
Kennedy was one of many presidential hopefuls and politicians who wooed Northern California voters.
Executive and a Democratic administration, which can move ahead.
One who would call the White House home began his political career here. Ronald Reagan knew firsthand the turmoil of the times.
I think we've come to a moment of confrontation. I think that this lawless element, and it includes a certain group of professors and students, highly organized, is bringing this about just for this purpose. And there is no longer any room for appeasement or give.
These are times not soon forgotten, events which in some cases have repeated themselves. Yet we live, we learn, and still look forward to what lies ahead.
To move ahead here in the United States, and in so doing to demonstrate our leadership around the world.
In Sacramento, Sidney Kohara for Channel 3 reports. They made the news in other decades, and some can still be found making headlines today.
Many people have worked long and hard on this issue for many years.
Just as the newsmakers have endured, so too have those on the other end of the microphone. Harry Martin began his television career playing characters like Bonanza Bill and Captain Sacto. When the flood of '55 devastated Yuba City, Harry and the Mouseketeers were there to help celebrate an overdue Christmas. During the early years of television, a job in this business gave you access to many of the legends of our time. Former Channel 3 sportscaster Stu Nahan will probably never forget the afternoon he spent with the Say Hey Kid.
Okay, let's go, Stu. What do you want? No.
Willie, I'll never be a threat to Orlando.
I hope not.
You hope not. Thanks a lot.
Well, that's my living. You know, I have to talk to the players. I wonder how it's going to come out on TV, Stu.
I don't know, Willie.
You don't know? Well,
this is a first. This is like Ben Casey.
Ben Casey has been going for 2 years now.
These are the faces of Channel 3 veterans when TV was young, and so were they.
Well, 11 years ago, the Beatles played music to a young teen crowd which drank Coca-Colas.
Tomorrow we'll begin to take a look at the modern-day world of reality in Moscow. Bill Harvey reporting from Red Square.
Are there some things that you'll be glad to leave behind?
Well, there's a lot of pressure, you know, and for two people who never intended to go into politics.
Reagan believes he can win on the first ballot, but says a second ballot would be a lot easier. Only 3 times in this century have Republicans gone beyond one roll call.
Join me. We'll visit the Bay of Pigs as my series of special reports from Cuba continues.
Thai knew nothing about communism, didn't care, didn't want to join or fight with the Viet Cong. It may be months or years before young Thai will ever feel completely free again.
The footage may be decades old, but it isn't outdated. It's a piece of the past which grows more valuable each year. All of it is well worth saving. In Sacramento, Sidney Kohara for Channel 3 Reports.